Hello everyone. As you can see from this footage, I broke Fatman in Metal Gear Solid 2. Yes, it's a basic stun loop. Yes, it takes forever, approximately 5.5 minutes. Yes, this works for Extreme and European Extreme modes. Let's talk about how this works. For starters, there are a few things we should discuss about Fatman. On hard difficulties, he is much faster and plants more bombs. He also takes far less damage, like all bosses do, on harder modes in Metal Gear titles, and you also have less time to disable the bombs, so it's best to keep him from planting too many at once. There's really no known easier way to take him out, you just kinda have to be good. You have to play a game of cat and mouse with this boss. The key is to stay on top of him at all times, shoot with the SOCOM until he is knocked down, and trank him quickly enough to get 2 rounds in him before he recovers. That's how this is supposed to go, and ideally, that strat is much faster and more suitable for speedruns. You might notice that Fatman also has invincibility frames. In case you're unaware, invincibility frames, or iframes, are frames during an action where either the character or enemy cannot be damaged. While I'm unfamiliar with MGS2's overall internal data, I do know enough to tell you that Fatman has invincibility frames to basically stop him from being too easy to defeat. He has iframes upon most of his recovery animations, but while he can be stun locked as I have shown you all here, it's important to know that every other hit damages him, again due to iframes being present. I repeat, only every other hit will damage him. However, one thing I noticed is that while you cannot stop him from planting bombs per se, there is enough time in between Fatman placing bombs and pressing the switch on his trigger to detonate the bombs to hit him. What I realized upon farming this fight for roughly 20 minutes is that I can stun lock him while he goes to hit the button on his detonator. The game forces Fatman to do this animation, which is why you see his left arm raised up. Once he goes to do this, you can quickly melee attack him to stop him from detonating bombs, and you just rinse and repeat until the fight is over. Obviously, this is easier said than done, but it's a nice backup strat if you find yourself in a predicament where you simply cannot keep up. It's not too difficult to set up, but it can be challenging. I would start the fight as normal, disabling the first bomb here on your left. Then, make your way towards where Fatman is standing, which is where the second bomb is located. You can then shoot him in his rollerblades, preferably with the M9, and if you're fast enough, you can get 2 tranks into his head before he stands up and rolls away. Next, disable the second bomb, and here, one of 2 things can happen. Fatman will either return to his exact spot, allowing you to get an extra hit in, or he will completely roll away, and you have to chase him down. So, this is where that stun loop strat plays in. It's imperative that you must stay on top of Fatman as he's planting bombs. Try your best to stay as close as possible. On Extreme and European Extreme modes, he will try to plant between 4 to 5 bombs at once, depending on how often he is interrupted by you, the player. He will eventually go to activate the bomb timers that is cued by a line of dialogue. He will say something in the lines of, "Look, it's your favorite, explosions." It's very important that you punch him before he activates his detonator. This is the opportunity for you to stun loop him. Then you basically punch him at the pace that I'm doing here, and he will fall within 5 minutes or so. That's all there is to it. And any bombs that he's placed, they will not detonate and you won't be forced to disable them after the boss fight ends, which is a nice bonus. You can somewhat speed the process up by attacking him in first person mode, but the results there might vary. Anyway, that's basically all I wanted to showcase for you all here today. I have found this exploit in the middle of farming boss fights, so I can work on a very good and detailed guide in obtaining the big boss ranking in this game, which I am working on. Whenever I get that guide done, there will be a card at the top of the video as well as a link below. Thank you all for your time, and I hope this video has found you well. Go out, play Metal Gear Solid 2.